Hey, you guessed it, it's Daryl Thompson here, and today I'm giving you a level 1 acoustic guitar lesson on an oldie but a goodie. The song is From the Inside Out by Hillsong United. Plus, I'm going to give you some tips on how to build chords on your guitar. You know what happens next. The song From the Inside Out was originally in the key of C, but it was later lowered to the key of B, for example, in the Live in Miami recording. Now I'm going to be teaching you the song in the key of C because it has a roaring guitar solo, and in a few weeks' time I'm actually going to be teaching that guitar solo. So why don't you subscribe right now so that you don't miss out on that video. In the intro of this song in the key of C, we have an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar both playing the same chords, slightly different strumming patterns, but what you have is the acoustic guitar is panned hard left, meaning that you can hear it in your left ear only, and the electric guitar is panned hard right, meaning that you hear it only in your right ear. They are playing two different strumming patterns, but what I'm going to be doing is teaching you the left side, the acoustic guitar part, and you'll see on the video that you have chord diagrams at the bottom of the screen. Now, some of you may not know how to read chord diagrams, may not know what they are. So to help us with what chord diagrams are, we're going to go to our expert. Hello, my name is Bertie. You might be a bit confused because you're not seeing the Bertie that is normally on this channel. That is because Bertie is my cousin. I am Bertie as well, which is kind of confusing. The reason why my name is Bertie and the English-speaking man is Bertie as well, because Bertie's name is short for Cathbert, whereas my name is Bertie, which is short for Albert. So that clears everything up, yeah? I can hear everybody behind the camera going, ich verstehe. I mean, sorry, you are saying, I understand, not everyone speaks German, Bertie. All right, so we are talking today about the chord diagram. And this is a very helpful tool to help us to read chords on to help us to know what chords to play on a guitar. Basically is what I'm trying to say. So what we have here is we've got some nuts. This is a nut of a guitar. Let me pick up a guitar quickly so you can see. This is this part here, the white pearl. It's light here. And then we have our frets, number 1, 2, 3, and then we have the strings. Now this is where it gets tricky because this string is not the one that is at the top of your guitar. It's not the thickest one, no. This is the thinnest one. The thinnest one. Can you say the thinnest one? Yeah. All right. So the top one is called your high E string. Then you've got your B string, G, D, A, and E. And then I need to have a marker now. What we will do is we will have different dots in different places to help us to know where to put our fingers. So, for example, if I do the C major chord, we will put a dot over here, we will put a dot over here, and we will put a dot over here. Now what will happen is you will have maybe on the right hand side of the diagram, you will have something telling you which finger to put on that dot. You have the third finger, you have the second finger, and you have the first finger. Yeah. Okay, now there are going to be some more dots. We love dots, don't we? Alright, so over here we have a dot because that's an open dot. And that dot tells us that we play that string without putting our fingers anywhere. We don't put our fingers on the frets, or we can also say that we don't fret the string. So we have an open dot there, we have a dot where we put our first finger, we have an open string over here, see? We have our second finger, our third finger, and then we have an X. The X means don't touch. Nein, not good. Don't play this string, because that string does not have anything to do with this chord. Okay, so that is a C major chord. You normally would have the name of the chord above it, and that tells us how to read a diagram. Auf Wiedersehen. All right, now I imagine you are eager to get learning this song, to get playing the song. But before we get stuck into the song, can I teach you some things? I really want you to see this. I believe it will help you to not only play this song, but to, when you're given a chord, a strange name, you're not sure what that chord should look like. This kind of stuff, what I'm going to show you now, will help you to work out what that chord is. So let's first start with the three chords that we have in the intro and in the verse. We've got an F sus2, and that is because we've got our pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret, which gives us a G note, and we've also got an open G string, which gives us these 2 G notes in this F chord, and that goes to a C5 chord. Again, your pinky is on the high E string, and you're blocking the D string with your 3rd finger. That goes to a G for a G sus4. I'll explain all that later, but in the meantime, let's go with the strumming pattern, which is 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Let me do that again, a bit slower. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So why am I muting some of the strings in these chords, or why do I believe that some of the strings are being muted in this recording? Well, to help you with that, I need to teach you a bit of music theory. Don't get scared. I believe that this will help you. It will help you with not only playing an F sus2 chord, but I mean, if you got something as wacky as an F, we have a F minor 11 over A sharp, you could just work it out because you understand how the name of a chord is, it tells you what notes are in that chord and what that chord should look like. So let's go right to the beginning and let's look at a major chord. Let's look at F major. So what's great about F major is that it's built on an F major scale. Now, you should know this. Wherever you are with your guitar playing, you understand that a chord is made up of different notes. Okay, we've got 3 or 4, 5, 6, whatever amounts of notes in that chord, and we need to know what notes should we put in a chord for it to be called a certain thing. Or if a chord is called a certain thing, what notes are in it. So without telling you why, I'm going to say that a major chord is made up of the 1st note in the scale, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. That's called a major triad or a major chord formula. And so we'll see that this is talking about the scale. If we talk about the F major chord, we have the F major chord built on the F major scale, and we're specifically looking for the 1st note in that scale, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. So let me play the scale for you. And back again. All right, so we have 7, 8 notes in that scale, and we know that we have to find the 1st note, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. And if we find those 3 notes, we will have put notes together that form a major chord. So let's look for them. We have an F major scale. The 1st note of our F major scale is F, and that helps us with the F major chord. Now we're looking for a, which number is it? 1, 2, we're looking for a 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. There you go. So if I play the 1 and the 3 together, I already have the makings of a chord, don't I? But we have 1, 3. What else do we need? We need our 5. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So let's put our 1, our 3, and our 5 together, and we've got a pretty cool chord. Now, the cool thing about a guitar, the great thing about guitar, is that you've got 6 strings. And the scale will cover all 6 strings, which means you have your 1, 3, and 5 on all these strings. And you don't just need to play just 3 strings because of those 3 notes that you've picked. There is another note in this chord that you can pick out. You've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's another 1. So let's add that 1 to what we've got already. But we don't have an F major chord in the chord progression. Remember, our chord progression in our intro and in our verse is F sus2 or F suspended to C5 to G, changing to G sus4. So how do we make an F sus2? Now, as I said earlier, the name of a chord will help you with what notes are in there. Of course, if you say F major, there are no notes, there are no numbers in there, but in F sus2, there's a number, 2. So that tells us there's a 2 in this chord. So if we look at the fact that we have to have a 1 is always part of a chord. We've got our 1 on our F major scale, 1, 2, there's that 2, the open G string. So that means that in this chord, we need to have an open G string. We don't need the 3 or the 4. The 3 would make up our major chord. We don't need that right now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need that. So let me just help you. I'm just going to help you rush your head and explain that the chord formula, or the chord triad, the triad formula for F sus2, S suspended 2, is 1, 2, and 5. And remember, when I say 1, 2, and 5, I'm talking about the notes in the scale. These 3 notes will make up that chord. So we've got this one, 1, 2, 5, and then 1 again. But then if I keep on counting on the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, there's another 2 right there. So we can use that 2, which means we put our fingers like this. There's my third finger on that string, and there's our F sus2. I'll play through it slowly. So we have a 2 over here, and we have a 2 on our G string, a 2 on our high E string, and a 2 on our open G string. We've got 2 2s, which means I can get rid of 1 if I want to, and I still have an F sus2. And that's why I've muted the G string. I do that with my third finger. It's resting on the G string so that the G string, can you hear that? It sounds clunky. And I still have this 2, the high E string, which means that the chord is still an F sus2, and that makes the chord sound slightly different. Let me show you what it sounds like. This is me muting the G string. This is me leaving it open. Blocking, open. So it's slightly fuller sounding. So whether you mute the G string with your third finger or you don't, seems to be a bit of a preference thing. One version of the F suspended chord sounds a bit fuller than the other one. But let's talk about why I have muted some strings in the other chords. The chord that is after the F suspended 2 is a C5 chord. And to help you with that, I need to teach you how to build a C major chord. I've given you some clues so far, so let's see what you've gotten. To build a major chord, you need to build it on what scale? Is it a major or a minor scale? A major scale, good. And what are the 3 notes that we're looking for in that scale that we'll use as like building bricks to build that chord? They are the first note of the scale, they are the third notes of the scale, and they are the 5th note of the scale. Very good. So let's play through our C major scale, and then we'll look for our 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes. And it just keeps on going all the way up till here. But we're going to stop there. Let's now find our 1st, 3rds, and 5ths. So we have our 1st right over here. This is the C note. 1, 2, 3, good. That's a good start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, good. So that's a good start to our C major chord, but we've got more strings. We've still got our B string and our high E string. So let's see if we can find 1s, 3s, and 5s on those strings. Let's start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. There's a 1 over there. So we have 1, 3, 5, 1. Let's keep counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. There's a 3 right there. So we have 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. And if we play that chord through, there is your typical C major open chord. Now we want a C5. And before I talk about a C5, let me talk about the 3. The 3 is crucial in your chord. It defines the chord. It helps you to understand what the chord is. It gives the chord a certain sound, a certain personality. So in a major chord, the 3 is what makes our chord sound happy. But if I wanted to make that chord sound sad, sound like a minor chord, all I do is I take that third note and I move it down a fret. Now I flatten that third, and straight away you get this kind of sound. Can you see how the third has just made such a difference there? If I play this, there's major. If I play this, the third has made such a difference in the sound of that chord. So the 3 is crucial. Where you place it will make a huge difference in your chord. And if you leave it out completely, will also make a difference to your chord. I find that if the 3 is right here, it's a really happy chord, and that's good for some places, but sometimes I think the 3 is just a little bit too happy. it's a little bit too expressive, and maybe I want a chord that doesn't express so much emotion. I want something that's a little bit less defined when it comes to the feeling or the sound. And so 5 chords help us with that. We use 5 chords a lot in hard rock, in rock music, when guitars are big, loud, lots of overdrive, that kind of thing. We'll use 5 chords, which are also called power chords. And that chord is made up with just a 1 and a 5. There's no 3. Remember, the 3 defines, gives it that emotion, that personality. No 3 means it's just like an open sound. It's really a great chord. So let's see how we build a 5 chord with our C major scale. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4. But what notes do we need? We need the 1 and the 5. So the D string here has got 2, 3, 4. And none of those are in our scale, which means our D string, we're not playing it, which is why I'm muting it. Can you see why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want that one. We want those 2, and that's why I'm muting the D string. Right, our C, we are muting the D string because it has a 2, 3, and 4 on there, and that's not part of our chord formula, which is 1 and 5. We've got a 5, which is an open G string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then there's a 1 over there. We need a 1, so we've got this so far. 1, 5, 1. 1, 2, 3. We don't want a 3, so let's keep counting through the E string. 3, 4, 5. There's a 5, and we need a 5, so we'll play this. 1, 5, 1, 5. And there's a great chord. If you have a guitar that's nice and big, nice and loud, nice and overdriven, great sounding chord right there. So you've got your F sus2, C5, and then we have our G. Now, just for repetition's sake, because repetition will drill this into you, you will definitely know what you're doing by the end of this video. We're going to build a G major chord. Now, what scale is a G major chord built on? That's right, it's built on a G major scale. And what are those 3 notes again that we build our chord on? They are the first note of the scale, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. So let's go through our G major scale quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Great. So let's build our chord. Remember, we're taking the three notes, the 1, 3, and 5. We've got a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. We need that open G string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. We need the 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's our last one. So we will build the chord on this. But then again, you've got 2 3s, and that sounds really happy, and I don't really want that happy sound, so I'm going to mute the first 3. I'm going to change my fingers around because we've got this so far. We'll keep all our fingers in the same place. And to make a suspended 4 chord, remember the name of the chord will help you with what notes are in there. A suspended 4 chord has got a 1, and like the suspended 2, instead of a 3 it has a 2, but now the suspended 4 has got a 4 in it. 1, 4, and 5, that's right. And so we are going to add a 4. Here's our first 4, but we're muting that string, so let's not play that. We have another 4. A 4 is always straight after a 3. So here's the 3, and there's the 4 right next to it. So there's our suspended 4 chord. Another reason why I am blocking the A string, which has the 3 on it, is because if I had a 1, a 3, a 4, and a 5, I wouldn't have a G suspended 4 chord anymore. I would have a G add 4 because I've got 4 notes. 1, 3, 4, and 5. I don't want an add 4, I want a suspended 4, so just 1, 4, and 5. Thank you very much. That's what I've got. So we got suspended 4. Very nice. I hope that hasn't tired you out, but that you've learned some great things from all of this very complicated conversation that I've been having with you. Okay, some of you might be wondering what happened to the rest of that guitar lesson. Well, how about we make a deal? I've given you a video with chord diagrams on it. I've given you some information on how to create chords. And I believe that just by looking at these things, if you do a bit of digging, you will be able to work out everything that I've played in this song and be able to play the song yourself. I come from a long teaching background, and I found that the best thing that I can do for someone who's learning from me is, rather than give them all the information, feed all the information to them, I would rather teach you how to feed the information to yourself. So look, if you do struggle, I'm here to help you. Leave comments in the video below, and I will do my best to give you the answers, or even to point you to resources where you can find out the answers for yourself. So don't forget to subscribe for more of these amazing lessons that I'm putting together. And remember, I want you to be awesome. I want you to be the best version of yourself, yeah?